Hey everyone, welcome on in. Get yourself comfortable because today is another whip and chat session. If this is your first time here, thank you for joining me today. Make yourself cozy, grab a drink, your current craft project, or whatever you're working on, and settle in for a bit. We're going to be doing some diamond painting, talking books, life updates, and other hobbies, and honestly just having a proper catch up together. First off, I just want to say a big thank you to anyone who checked out my first video. Putting yourself out there and trying something new is always a little intimidating. I think a lot of people end up in their own head sometimes, and I'm definitely guilty of that. So seeing people support, leave comments, and just spending a bit of time with me, honestly, meant a lot more than I expected it to. I feel like sometimes online spaces can feel very focused on numbers and growth and chasing the next thing. But for me, this channel is more about creating a space that feels welcoming and genuine, somewhere where we can enjoy our hobbies together without all the pressure. So thank you for helping me feel like this idea might actually have a place. Today I'm working on my current large whip, which is Mountain Morning by Abraham Hunter. This thing is absolutely massive. I think it's around 105 centimeters by 70 centimeters, so it's definitely one of the bigger kits in my stash, but honestly, I've been really enjoying the process with this one. I feel like I'm making decent progress considering the size of it. It's one of those paintings where you finish a section, stand back, and suddenly realize how much detail is slowly coming together. I've also been trying to balance this alongside a few smaller kits, because sometimes with larger projects, you need these little palette cleansers to stop yourself burning out. I think that is something I've learned with hobbies in general, actually. Sometimes rotating projects keep things fresh and keeps the hobby enjoyable. And honestly, I think that applies to life as well. The weather here has actually been better than expected recently, which means I found myself outside during the afternoons. When we moved to our new rural home to escape city life a while back, having a large garden was definitely one of the things on my wish list. Although I will be honest, sometimes I do think we may have bitten off a little more than we can handle. The home came with a log cabin, an outdoor office, and a large polytunnel, so there has been plenty to get stuck into. We have slowly been putting space to use and trying to make the most of what we have. I have really been enjoying growing fruits and vegetables. There's something very satisfying about seeing things slowly come along, even if half the time I'm still learning as I go. This year, we've also decided to grow some sunflowers, which has been lovely because I have fond memories of growing them as a child. I might throw up some photos on screen because they seem to be coming along really well so far. Alongside the sunflowers, we're also growing cucumbers, strawberries, courgettes, or zucchinis, depending where you are in the world, and a few other vegetables too. It has been a nice change of pace, and honestly, it feels good for the brain to step outside, put my phone down, get my hands dirty, and focus on the simple things. I don't know what it is lately, but I feel myself appreciating quieter hobbies, more me time, more and more. So if you're watching this and you're not really sure what to comment, feel free to drop a sunflower emoji somewhere below, so I know you made it this far. I always think it's funny because you can watch a video and generally have nothing specific to say, but you still want the creator to know that you were there and enjoyed the vibe. So the Sunflower Gang, that is our thing now apparently. I have also been trying to get back into reading more consistently again because honestly, audiobooks have been carrying me lately. Right now, I'm reading Dungeon Crawler Carl, and I generally feel like I missed the hype train on this one because people have been talking about it forever. But now I am finally experiencing it for myself. I completely understand why people are obsessed with it. It's chaotic, ridiculously funny, weirdly emotional at times, and honestly just incredibly entertaining. Carl constantly feels like a man one inconvenience away from losing his mind, and somehow that energy feels deeply relatable. As for Princess Donut, she definitely deserves her own fan club. What surprised me most, though, is how attached I became to the characters. I went into it expecting chaos and comedy, but there are moments in the story that actually hit surprisingly hard. I love books like that, though, stories that can make you laugh one moment and then completely blindside you emotionally the next. I've also recently finished The Secret Book and Scone Society by Ellery Adams, and honestly, that series completely surprised me. It is not usually the kind of genre that I would naturally reach for. I normally lean much more towards thrillers, darker stories, and fast page turners. So picking up a cozy mystery series was definitely a change of pace for me. But I do think sometimes the right book finds you at the right time in your life. There was something really comforting about the world of Miracle Springs and the characters in these books. The found family themes, the healing, the slower pace, the sense of community. It all felt incredibly grounding in a way I didn't really expect. So before I realized it, I had read all 9 books in the series, and honestly, it opened a whole new doorway for me into the cozy fiction as a genre. When life feels busy, stressful, or overwhelming, sometimes softer stories just hit differently. Not every book needs massive twists, constant danger, or edge of your seat tension. Sometimes you want a story that feels warm, reflective, and hopeful. And these books generally became that for me. Overall, if I was rating the series as a whole, I would give it a solid 3 stars. Not because it was bad at all, but because for me, it was more about comfort, atmosphere, and the journey than being mind blowing or life changing. It became one of those stories that I look forward to returning to because spending time in Miracle Springs felt relaxing. And if you have Kindle Unlimited, it's worth checking out because you can visit Miracle Springs, meet Nora and the girls, and enjoy a bit of comfort and sleuthing without spending anything extra, which honestly feels like a pretty good deal for cozy reading therapy. So let me know in the comments what you're currently reading because I'm always looking for recommendations, especially cozy reads or fantasy recommendations because those are usually my comfort zones. Recommendations help everyone reading the comments too, so feel free to throw your favorites down there. I also wanted this channel to be a place where we can talk openly about hobbies and mental health a little bit too. I genuinely think creative hobbies are massively undervalued when it comes to stress management and mental well-being. There is something incredibly grounding about sitting down and focusing on something with your hands for a while. Diamond painting especially has this almost meditative quality to it sometimes. You stop doom scrolling, stop overthinking everything for 5 minutes, and just focusing placing drills one by one. I know some people outside the hobby probably do not understand it and maybe think it is silly, but honestly, I think people underestimate the importance of having something peaceful in your life. For me lately, that has been diamond painting, reading, a bit of cross stitch, gardening, and slowly learning crochet as well. I'm currently making a blanket while learning, and let me tell you, that process has involved a lot of confusion and restarting. But honestly, I think there's something healthy about being bad at something while learning it. Isn't that what crafting is all about? Learning from your mistakes? We put so much pressure on ourselves as adults to instantly be good at everything we try, and sometimes it's actually refreshing just to be learning again. I think hobbies should be freeing, not stressful, although that is debatable. That is also one of the reasons I get frustrated sometimes with the overconsumption side of crafting spaces online. I strongly believe this hobby should be accessible to everyone. Budget kits are valid, small collections are valid, working on one painting for months is valid. You do not need a craft room that looks like a small warehouse to enjoy creativity. I think sometimes social media can accidentally make people feel they are behind somehow or not doing enough. And honestly, I never want this channel to feel like that. I would rather celebrate people making time for themselves however they can. Even if it's just 30 minutes at night with a cheap kit, a cup of tea, and an audiobook playing in the background. That sounds like a pretty good evening to me, honestly. I also want this place to feel very relaxed and community driven over time. No fake hype, no pretending everything is perfect, no acting like every product is life changing just because someone sent it out. I think people are craving real, authentic representation online again. At least I know I am. And I think that is part of why I started this channel in the first place. I also think there is room for more male voices in crafting spaces, not because crafting belongs to one group or another, but because sometimes representation matters when it comes to helping people feel comfortable joining a hobby. I've had messages from people already saying they feel less awkward about enjoying diamond painting after seeing another guy openly talking about it, and honestly, that means a lot to me. Because hobbies should not come with weird social barriers attached to them. If something helps you relax, brings you joy, gives you comfort, or helps your mental health, then honestly, that is reason enough to enjoy it proudly. And I think more people deserve spaces where they can slow down a little. That is probably why cozy hobbies appeal to me so much these days, actually. The older I get, the more I value peace over noise. A quiet evening, a good story, a project to work on, maybe some rain outside. That is peak luxury nowadays. Also, I need to know what everyone else works on while listening to books or videos, because I know diamond painters are never just doing one thing. Are you knitting, crocheting, gaming, building Lego, cross stitching, organizing life while pretending to listen properly? After all, I know some of you are multitasking professionals out there. Meanwhile, I'm over here dropping drills into my lap and spending 10 minutes trying to find a color I swear I had beside me 2 seconds ago. I also want to say, if you're someone who just likes having a video on in the background while you craft or relax, thank you for spending time with me here. I think there is something really comforting about slower paced content, and I want to keep leaning into that. Not everything needs to be loud, chaotic all the time. Some people just want company, and honestly, I think there is something quite special about that. So yeah, that's probably enough rambling for me for one video. Thank you again for hanging out with me today. I genuinely appreciate every comment, every view, and every bit of support more than you probably realize. If you enjoy the video, feel free to like, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff people say, because apparently I'm legally obligated to mention it now. And more importantly, let me know below what you're currently reading, what crafty project you're currently working on, and what hobbies help you unwind when life gets a bit overwhelming. I would genuinely love to hear from you. Take care of yourselves, keep creating, keep resting when you need to, and I will catch up with you all very, very soon. Bye, everyone. Happy binging.